Hello, today we're going to be making yellow rice with beans. I'm going to use the red kidney beans. You can use gandules, white beans, whatever beans you like. But this is my way of making it, and I normally don't measure anything. Well, I never measure anything. I just dump, douse, taste, and move it on. But this is what I have. I have 3 cups of medium grain rice, 1 can of beans, whatever ones you want. Sazon con achote, that gives it color. I have olives, adobo, garlic powder, onion powder. I have about half a can of tomato sauce. You're also going to use oil. You can't see my big old bottle, but I have oil there. Any kind of oil you want. And then this is sofrito. I like to put mine in an ice cube tray and freeze them, and then take them all out of the ice cube tray and put them in Ziploc bags, and then take them from there. Normal people, most people use 1 cube. I use 2. I like a lot of flavor in my food. And then this ingredient, I just started using it very, very recently. If you don't have smoked paprika, don't worry about it. I just started using it myself. It's no big deal. I just like the flavor that I discovered in it, and I pretty much use it on everything now. But if you don't have it, it's no big deal. And then I have tocino. Tocino is fatback. It's the pork skin, and that will render more oil or more fat and give the rice more flavor. What I'm going to do is, I already washed these. I'm going to cut them in thin strips all the way through. And then I'm going to put them in the pot, the rice pot that I'm using. That's the rice pot I'm using. And I'm heating it up right now on medium high. And while that heats up, I'm going to cut up the tocino. And then I'll come back and show you what it's like after I cut it up. So hold please. Okay, so this is what the tocino looks like after I've cut it up. You cut it the long way, and then you put little wedges or cuts in these pieces. Before I forget, if you don't have tocino, if you don't like tocino, or you have any qualms with tocino, you don't even have to use it. Use the bacon. All right. So now that we did this, we're gonna dump it into the pot. Again, I've never recorded, so it's not easy trying to record with one hand and cook with the other. So the pot is nice and hot. We're going to let that cook down and render all of its fat, because the fat is going to add oil that we need for the rice anyway. Just by having this kind of fat, then we'll use less oil from the container that I showed you earlier, which is this oil. Whatever oil. This just happens to be peanut oil. I've never used it myself, or I've never had it. I've never bought it, but my husband bought it, so that's what we're using. Oil to me is oil. You can hear the sizzle. And I like to cook these until they are browned and crunchy. So we'll just let those cook for however long it takes them to cook. That's your tocino. The pot was hot before I put them in. Nothing was added to the pot. Just the tocino right now. I'm gonna pause the video until the tocino is cooked on both sides. So I'll let them sit on this side until I see that they're starting to turn crunchy on the underside. And then I'll flip them over, let that side cook, and then I will come back and show you what that looks like. This is just to show you a quick peek. They're starting to brown on both sides, but they're not there yet. You'll see the difference. Look real good. Oh, and then it starts to pop. So just hold tight, and I'll show you when they're done. It's almost there, so while this finishes up, it should be like a couple more minutes or so, and then that's done. We're going to take the beans out of the can, which I already popped open. We're going to put them through a strainer and rinse them out. So there it goes. Now those are ready to go. Those are finished draining. This is done. So after that's done, you're going to add your sofrito. Bring the heat down just a little bit to medium low. My settings go from 2 to 6 and then high. So I have it on about 3 right now. Just for that to melt in there. And then I have to pause the phone one more time so that I can get a handful, and it's going to be literally a handful of olives. So here's my handful of olives. We're going to dump that in there as well. I guess if I had to measure that, I would say it's about one of these big rice spoons full. I like a lot of flavor, so I add a lot of everything. I especially love color in my food. My husband absolutely hates color because that means he's got to eat vegetables. But if I'm cooking my way. My way is usually the tastier way. So we're going to let that cook down. Once that cooks down, I forgot my secret ingredient besides the fatback / tocino. We're going to put a little splash of apple cider vinegar right after this process here. Once this step is over, we're cooking down the sofrito and the olives, we'll put a splash. And I guess my splash would be, if I had to measure, maybe 2 capfuls, so the top of the vinegar bottle, 2 or 3. You put 2. I might put 3, but just to be on the safe side, do 2. Alright, I'm going to let this cook down and then I'll be back. Alright, so it's not cooked down, but I forgot to tell you another step before we do the vinegar. I forgot to put the rest of the oil. I know that we have fat rendered in there, but we also have to add more oil. This, I hate measuring anything because it never turns out right. I'm going to use that much. I have no idea how much that is, but if I had to guess, I would say maybe about, let me see. Let me look at a measuring cup so I can get an idea. If I had to guess, I would say it's about 1/3 of a cup, 1/4 or 1/3 of a cup of whatever oil you're using. Now we're going to let this melt my sofrito and everything gets cozy and familiar with each other's flavors in there. It's almost to the point where we want it, where all the sofrito is melted and everybody's getting along in there and smelling good. So I'm going to put this on pause again so I can open the vinegar bottle. Apple cider vinegar is what I always use. I only use apple cider vinegar for any and all my recipes. I buy the huge bottle, the gallon one, and then I just fill this one. Apple cider vinegar, that's all I use. Now that the apple cider vinegar bottle is open and that the stuff in there is marinated and sauteed, we're going to do a splash. That much. I don't know how much that much was, but I would say maybe about two capfuls. Sorry if I keep taking the camera away from the food, but I hate videotaping anything. Because first of all, I don't measure. Second of all, the camera's in the way of me seeing what I'm doing. So now we'll let the vinegar cook down. Just a little bit. I'm going to say what everybody that records recipes say. Oh my, if we had smell-o-vision. But that's bull crap. I just figured I had to say it. Because why not? Everybody else does. Smell-o-vision. All right, now we're going to do the tomato sauce. For the tomato sauce, again, I use about half a can. That goes in there. Oh, whoops, I forgot to open all these things. So now I have to put you on pause again so I can open all these containers. Hold, please. Okay, so now I only put the tomato sauce into all the mix. I'm going to put 2 packets of sazon con achote. 2. You use however many you want. I'm making 3 cups of rice. I'm putting 2. There's no rule to how much you should use. The delicious smoked paprika that I just discovered not too long ago, we're going to use, I don't know, however much your heart tells you. Because this for sure I'm not measuring. But if I had to measure, I would say, I don't know, use a tablespoon. What the heck, the more the merrier. Garlic powder. This is all to taste. I don't have a whole lot of garlic powder left in here, so we're just going to use up what I had. Onion powder. You keep going until your heart tells you to stop. Or as they say when you're cooking Spanish, you cook until your ancestors scream. Ja, nene! I know that was stupid, but that's what they say. Crazy lot of this adobo. The more you add, the more flavor your stuff will have. We're going to give this a stir. Let me see, this is better, right? I'm way up here now, I can't see what I'm doing. But anywho, there's your base. Let it simmer for 1,000, 2, 1,000. So while that is simmering, we're going to take the beans and add it to the mix. Oh, there you are. Okay, come with me. I'm just going to dump them in there like that. We're going to plop the rice right over it. Hey, listen, if you want to wash your rice or if you don't want to wash it, makes me no never mind. I'm not eating your rice, I'm eating mine. I'm going to mix that all up real good. Or maybe not because it's hard. I usually need both hands for this. One holds the pot in place and the other one mixes. But anywho, since I can't do that, dump whatever little bit I had left. Now we're going to add water till just above the rice level. One cup. Two cups. Three cups. Remember, I had 3 cups of rice in there. Really don't know how much water we need because I don't ever measure. So that's 3 cups. I have another cup here on the side just in case we need it. But let me look. This is where you look at your food, see if it all looks good. It's not that it's a long process, it's just in steps. You can't just dump everything in the pot at once and expect it to taste delicious. First your tocino or bacon, then your oil, then your sofrito and your olives. It's all steps. You gotta layer it. That tastes good, but maybe I shouldn't add any more, but what the heck? Because every time people think that I add too much, it makes me add just a little bit extra just for them. Oh no, you're gonna kill us, that's too much. All right, then have a little extra. Maybe we'll all die faster. Tis what it is. All right, so now at this point that we have everything that we're gonna need in the pot, we're gonna take this bad boy up to high until it comes to a boil. It's looking pretty good, huh? Wait, let me go way up here, all in my way again. So there. That takes care of that. We'll let it come to a boil, and then I'll come back and check or show you guys. Okay, so maybe you can or can't see it on the very edges where it's looking like it wants to start boiling. To me, it's saying you need to stir me up because it looks like the rice might be starting to get stuck to the bottom. So let's stir it up. I cannot do that with one hand. I need one hand holding the pot and the other one stirring the rice. So I don't think you're going to be able to see this step unless, let me see if I can prop this bad boy up somehow. Oh, maybe. Maybe. Let me see. Watch this phone fall. Let's see. It's butt over there. Perfect. Okay, or maybe not perfect, but wait, you don't need to see this part anyway. Just stir it. But here we go. I'm gonna try it. I'm stirring and scraping the rice that was indeed starting to stick to the bottom. If that happens, whatever you do, for God's sake, don't panic. It's normal. It's supposed to happen. You're just going to scrape it off. Every single rice. You're going to stir and scrape until it's smooth as a baby's butt. The way that mine is now. And now that I've stirred all the rice that was starting to stick to the bottom, I'll show you because now we're going to reduce the heat. And we're going to you see it? All right, so now we're going to reduce it to medium. Medium. And I don't normally put the lid on this, but I was just watching this other video that stirred it and put the lid on it, so let's try it that way. Bloop. I just borrowed the lid from the other pot that we had white rice in yesterday. Rice yesterday, rice today, rice every stinking day. Why not? So we have it on medium. Got the lid on it. And this is a habit that I picked up on my own. I always put my cucharon, my spoon, in a cup of hot water. I don't use this cup for anything else but that. Just a good practice for me in case, say for example, if I was cooking outside or God forbid a fly flew in here. I don't want to have the spoon resting on a spoon rester because what if that fly lands on there and then this goes into the pot? Nope, I don't think so. So better safe than sorry. It'll cover. I have it making sure that it goes all the way to where the rice meets or the spoon meets the rice. This is just a good practice. Whatever you do, whether you're cooking beans, whatever it is, keep one of these. It's tall. This with hot water, and then that's where you put your spoons every time you use it. On the stove, you use it here and immediately goes right there. So, good practice. So now that the rice is cooking, we're going to let it cook. I think I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit more, maybe to 3. So now it's on 3. We'll let it cook down, let that water evaporate, give it one good stir, and put it on low so it can finish cooking the rest of the way. Hold, please. Okay, so now real quick, we're going to check our rice. It's only been cooking for a few minutes, but it looks like it's the water starting to evaporate. So I'm going to place the phone down so I can turn it, toss it, and then I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, the water has evaporated once I mixed it all up. The rice looks nice and shiny. You can see the oils bubbling on the edges. Let me see. That nice fat back. Delicious. If you don't like it, no big deal. Use bacon. Bacon gives it a really good flavor too. But now, I turn my heat down to low. So I have it at the notch above low. And we're going to leave it there to cook the rest of the way. We're going to put the lid back on it. Wait, let's center it to make sure it's on the urn right. And we're going to leave it there for about 20-25 minutes. And then the rice should be done by then. Okay, so the rice has been cooking for about 10 minutes or so. We're going to give it another good stir. And while the rice finishes cooking, once I stir it all up and cover it again, while that cooks, we're going to make, I don't have the stuff I need for a whole salad, but I'm going to use these cute little mini cucumbers. I found it comes in this pack. A salad with cucumbers, sliced tomatoes, and smashed fresh garlic. And then I'm going to drizzle apple cider vinegar, olive oil, and then a little bit of salt. That's going to be our salad. I'm also going to be making chicken wings. I just haven't decided whether I want to deep fry them, which only takes salt, pepper, and oil to season them. Once I cut them up, wash them, cut them up, and I'll throw my salt, oil. If I'm making them deep fried, it only takes salt, pepper, and oil right into the bag and mix it all up real good and then throw them in the deep fryer. But I haven't decided whether I'm going to make them that way or if I'm going to fry them Puerto Rican style, which Puerto Ricans don't deep fry their chicken. And if I do it that way, then we're going to use everything that I use for the rice. We're going to use the oil, the smoked paprika, the onion powder, the garlic powder, the adobo, also the sazon, which I don't have out. I put it away, but if I decide to make it that way, I'll bring out the sazon and a splash of apple cider vinegar. All that gets dumped into the bag, and I make like a marinade, and I mix it all up, and then that's ready to fry in a regular pan, the way you would fry any meat if you're doing it Puerto Rican way. I haven't decided, but that's what we're going to have. Fried chicken wings, the salad, and the rice. So I'm going to give the rice a good stir again, and then we're going to cover it up so it can finish cooking the rest of the way. All right, there it is all stirred up. Now I'm going to cover it up and let it finish cooking the rest of the way. So say, for example, you stirred it up, you let it finish cooking for another 15, maybe 20 minutes. And when you take the top off the rice, after you stir it up, you see that the rice is still not cooked. No big deal. Don't sweat it. That's when you just take and add some water around it, maybe about a half a cup to a cup. You mix it all up real good. You put the lid back on and you let it cook a little bit longer. And that should help your undercooked rice. So I'm going to just pause it here until the rice is finished cooking, and then we'll come back when it's done so I can show you the end result. Okay, so I'm not even going to lie. I did add about another 1/2 to 3/4 cups of water to the rice. Didn't stir it. I just added it and covered it up so it can finish cooking. And while that's cooking, I went ahead and cut up the tomatoes in slices and the cute little cucumbers. What I like about these cucumbers is that you can eat the peel and all, not like the regular cucumbers that have that bitter, thick tasting skin. These are, you can eat it with that. All you have to do is slice them. I went ahead and chopped up some fresh garlic, 3 huge cloves. I cut off the dried end stems, and then I smashed them, and then I sliced them kind of julienne. And now I'm going to mix that in with the salad and then drizzle olive oil, salt, pepper, and my favorite apple cider vinegar. And then that is going to consist of whatever the stuff that I just put in it. And that's going to be our salad, because I don't have the stuff to make an actual salad. But this is fine, because in this house we're all fresh garlic lovers. We put it on everything that we eat because we like the taste of fresh garlic. So that takes care of the salad. I still haven't decided how I'm going to make the chicken wings yet. I'm going to drizzle the olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and salt on this now, and then my salad will be ready. And then we'll check the rice again. Okay, so our salad has been drizzled in olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and I sprinkled some salt over it. So that's ready. Now that it's ready, we're going to put this in the fridge and then check on our rice. Just going to let it sit there for now. And now, let's check on the rice. The rice looks like it's coming along nicely, so hold please while I stir. Okay, so the rice has been stirred. It's coming along really good. I'm actually glad that I added the water that I did add while it was halfway cooking, because now it looks fluffier. So now we'll just wait for those few odd grains here and there that haven't cooked to finish cooking, and then our rice will be done. But this is it. This is the final outcome of it. So I think it's pretty good. Just remember, it's all in layers. You start cooking in layers. You do this part first, and then the next part, and then the next part. And as it turns out, in the beginning I said that I used 3 cups of rice, and then I only put 3 cups of water. It looked like I needed that little bit extra, but that's fine. It's better to put not enough water in the beginning and then add it as it's halfway through than to have to take out, because then the rice will turn out too mushy and you can't undo that. So just better to, I did 3 cups water to 3 cups rice, and then added about another, I guess I would say about 3/4 of a cup. So we'll just let it finish cooking. It still has like about 15 more minutes. This is not a short process, but it is worth it. 15 more minutes of cooking, and then the rice will be done. So as for you guys, I'm done, because now you know. Any questions? You know how to find me. Love you. Bye.